All right, everybody, welcome to Business Connections with the Los Angeles Latino Chamber of Commerce. And let's connect now. We have Chairman Daryl Salcedo and co-chair of the Corporate Advisory Board, Ana Salcedo. And we're excited because also you guys are both owners of Associated Construction Services Group. Correct? I got that right?
Yes.
Yep,
I got it
you got it
right.
right.
Yes, thank you guys. I don't want to get it after. I'll get it after from Daryl. Daryl will get me after. But we have a special guest. We have a very special guest, someone that you guys love very dearly. Off camera, you guys are very proud of him. I mean, I'm proud of you now just by hearing about all the wonderful things that you do. I'm very proud to know you and have you here as well. We have Andy Vargas with us, and it's amazing. How was the drive, man? I know it was a pretty long drive to be here and be in this wonderful place, right?
Oh no, it was a short distance to come and be here and be in the presence of Ana and Daryl and yourself, and I'm very grateful to be here today. Thank you. It's a nice kind of not too. It's raining in Los Angeles yesterday and today, but today it's kind of light rain, and it's going to be a good
weather's
day.
Beautiful.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, no, we're excited too. And what we wanted to do is just have a discussion. We want to talk about you. I mean, you over 20 years with Santana and stuff, and helping, I believe, being a part of other people's legacies, other people's things that they're doing, and being a part of the lead singer. But now it's time, to talk about you. And your legacy and the things that you're doing. I mean, you're wearing your hat, Andy Vargas Foundation. I was able to be there. Thank you so much. Your first annual golf tournament, which was very successful. Daryl, I filmed him hitting the ball right into the hole there.
That's right. Hole in one.
Hole in one. No, but they have a great time. Let's talk about that. You're wearing the hat, Andy Vargas. Let's talk about the golf tournament. Your company was a part of it as well. You sponsored it. Want to share about that, Daryl?
Yeah, I'll let Ana share about that. She was more involved in it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, anything that Andy does, I love the fact that he is very intentional because the impact is great. Anytime we could make a difference in the lives of our young people, I'm all for it, and when you are able to partner with somebody who is so committed to it like Andy, how could you not be a part of it? Because together we can only do more. So, as not only Ana and Daryl Salcedo, but as ACS Group, that is what happens when you become very successful. Your blessings are given so that you can continue to bless others, right?
Right,
Andy gets it. And so together, we only have done more. And it's been, not a long time, right, Andy, that we have really done this, but I think we've made more impact than most partnerships when it comes to being laser focused on really what is the reason we are doing this. And I can't be more proud of somebody that is running a nonprofit and more importantly has made it his business and his legacy to make a difference in the lives of these young people. I mean, we see it every single time he's doing an event. He brings 1 or 2 and 3 of them. And I am just truly amazed. Daryl and I go and we're just talk about it all the way home. Like, wow, these kids are just, I think if anything, I have to applaud the fact that he has given these young people the ability to say, he sees me. He sees me. He realizes that he's pulling something out of me that I didn't even know. But I want him to talk about this because he lives it every single day. I mean, this man is just... again, so intentional and so committed. We pretty much talk daily about, not even the what ifs anymore. Let's just do it, right, Andy? It's not the what ifs. We don't have time for what ifs anymore. It's let's get this done.
Well, I'm so very grateful for Ana and Daryl, and their commitment to the work that they do, and the second that we started talking. Their leadership and inspiration, inspired me. And I thoroughly believe that, the people around you, the people that you surround yourself around, really makes a difference in your life and your execution and your, in your business, and your thinking, sometimes you could think in circles, and you come right back to where you started and stuff. And, when we first started talking, they both, really, got my vision, which ultimately was the most important, because, I guess where my inspiration comes from, and it'll always go back to just, seeing kids come to our home back in Watsonville. They would be dropped off by their mothers, or fathers, and just and come in with, with instruments, and and my dad would be like, "Oh, okay, gotta go," and so he was always. It was almost just like a way of life, like some dads go to the gym,
Yeah.
and my dad would go to the garage and work with the kids, and it was all a part of the mothers asking for him to do so. And I just thought I was just this nature, something that becomes second nature to, to see and to tap into the excitement of a young artist, a young musician. And it's interesting because I think every child has the capability of tapping into that source, that artistic source. And it takes inspiration. Sometimes it's like another artist that you listen to that, sang a song that you just, connected with, or sometimes it's just starts pouring out and you can't stop, or, a class in school where you find a talent in poetry and writing and things. And then, or maybe you just have an artistic soul and you just are, drawn towards the arts in school and stuff. But unfortunately, I don't think, our, powers that be really see, the arts as that important, to be able to really have that as a major part of curriculum. And there are many classes and there are many, programs now. I think that they're starting to kind of like come back because they're realizing that's not what you're supposed to cut out of the budget,
Yeah.
Especially I think where it really hurt were the teachers. I think the teachers started kind of losing enthusiasm because their budgets were getting, hurt. But, I just, get inspired in being able to. I've been very blessed my life. I've been very, very blessed, from great parents, to great family and great friends, and had a lot of very lucky opportunities. I'm a firm believer, if you envision it and keep your mind on that vision, and every single day, if I had just a strong passion for wanting to be like a recording artist, like Michael Jackson or like Luis Miguel, these artists that I followed and listened to, their music in my headphones and their albums, like to every single sound of their inflection of their voice and everything. I wanted to be them.
Yeah, it intrigued you really, really bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So every single day it was just that, and then I was the kid that would always listen to music, looking out into the stars and just putting the intention of a wish and a desire, just like, I want to, that's what I want. And I'm living in a town in Central California called Watsonville, which, there's no real music entertainment, in Watsonville. Like,
I've never heard of it until I was looking you up.
There's Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz, right there.
University of Santa Cruz. They have a great music program. So there's music education, but as far as becoming like an artist that was going out there into the world and being seen, like at the time, I don't know, maybe Bobby Brown or Jodeci or these these young groups that were kind of hitting at the time. San Jose had a lot of artists. San Francisco, San Jose, and San Francisco. There was a sound that was really hitting by this artist Stevie B. At the time when I was younger, I think the lowrider car shows, they would have artists that would come around. They had records they would release and stuff.
Thump records
and stuff. And so those were all of like the that's what I saw as to being able to like get out there, and to be seen. I wanted to be like those guys, but I just was very blessed to in a weird way. I believe, that just everything happens for the reason that it should, and you follow that, and we're given direction, if you listen right.
Yeah.
And my mom worked at a bank. My dad worked in music. My dad gave me the infrastructure, but my mom's relationships led me to my first introduction to the music business through a bank, because it's business.
Yeah. People are doing business.
Right. And so, I met someone who lived in Carmel. He was semi-retired. His name was Terry Melcher. He was semi-retired. His mom was, Doris Day. and
Wow.
and he
that's
was my
cool.
first manager. He was my first
Wow.
manager for when I was 15. I went to the Cypress Inn in Carmel, and I sang 2 songs, one in English and one in Spanish, like a young kids pop song, and then a Spanish bolero. And he had with him his partner that he had made records with since he was a kid, named Bruce Johnston, the keyboard player and singer of the Beach Boys. And they had just finished producing like the Kokomo, the song Kokomo and stuff. And they did all of those songs in their studio in Carmel on one of the first digital recording systems that Pro Tools made,
Wow.
back in the day. And so they had these really big, computers and stuff. And anyways, that was my introduction. So I signed a management deal with them, and so that was the first time I had gone through any kind of paperwork. My parents had to sign everything because I was underage, and I remembered I was very interested in like reading what the contracts had to say. It was kind of like foreign language, but I always used to love reading that. And my grandpa, he was a realtor, a broker, and he was very slow, like relaxed, calm, and he would always sit at the same place, at the table. He'd always get home from the office at the same time, sit at the same place at the table. So I knew when to go see him, And I went in and said, "Hey, Grandpa, we need to read this."
Oh.
I said, okay. So one night I went over there, and I said, all right, I had this coffee always, and we read, and he goes, all right. So we read it really slow because it was new language, but he knew how to read contracts, and stuff. And I remember we read through that contract for the first time, and ever since then, I loved it, And all of my attorneys ever since, I just loved reading contracts with them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you kind of get this stuff." And anyways, just a little bit of my background, and
No, that's good.
Yeah,
No, I love the fact that I can see why being a young age, because you're 7 years old when you started singing with your dad, right? So 7 years old, and I think you said 15, and having your type of foundation, young kids could get lost in this industry. You see it, you're hearing it. We're hearing it a lot now lately. A lot of stuff's coming out where, you see artists like TLC and all them get ripped off back in the day. I mean, making millions of dollars to having nothing, but being able to have someone like yourself to guide them. And then, of course, being intrigued with contracts. I mean, I don't see artists reading their contracts at all. They're just excited. Like, oh, where do I sign? Bonus, 5,000? All right, I'll sign it right now. They'll sign their lives away. But being able to have someone like yourself that now, if these young kids really are pursuing through your foundation, the artistry of, guitar or anything, singing, you're there to guide them, really guide them and show them their way. Is there some kids right now in your foundation that are you see like that potential, like, man, that these kids have it right there?
I do. I see many of them, and they all have a light that, some may be a little bit more developed and a little bit less fear than others. Mm-hmm. But even interestingly enough, the shy ones really have.
I was going to say that. What do you do with the shy ones?
They have a soul and spirit that when you bring it out, as the listener, it kind of brings chills because there's a reason why they're shy. Maybe, some stuff has happened at home, or they've seen things or they fear things. And so when you see, another someone kind of conquer that fear, it inspires you. Mm. So yes, there was one student that we had that I think kind of led the way immediately because she was already, playing guitar. She had never recorded songs, but she had written songs. So, when we start with our group, I don't see our courses as being, this is our block and this is the way we do it, and everyone follow this block, because then you leave out all of the different opportunities that maybe, student A, B, C, and D have different entry paths to, maybe, the student, can write amazing poetry. Maybe this student over here actually plays some piano. This person over here actually understands computers best, but really isn't interested in writing lyrics. So, to keep them intrigued and to keep them a part of their roles you can play in the session of a writing session, And so we have to assess that, you know, and by doing that, it's just having them come back. And I'm very grateful that we have a space that if you need it, we have it. We just go to another room and pull it. You know, you have an idea, even doing like, you know, cabling and recording, or you like this, well, let's get started at you know, helping us set up for our performances, you know. So we give everyone like roles. Yes, we do have, our program is based on songwriting. So, and the art of songwriting and where that leads you to, then performances, you know, we have to showcase those songs somehow. And we have to, these days, you know, there's visuals behind the songs. So there's, you know, maybe each artist has their own logo and name and things. And so they can go into programs these days and create them, and give them a big screen to put that on, all that kind of cool stuff.
That's cool.
And so they find something that they're interested in and they jump in. And a lot of these kids are already little influencers on their own.
Yeah.
So they already know, they're already like really a
Technology
step ahead.
savvy and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, leading them in that direction and being open to wherever they want to get started, you know, it's just a fun time. It's a fun time for us. And, you know, I treat like our students, like if they were my kids, you know, like I don't know another way. And that's the same way my dad does. And sometimes I'd be like, you know, he treats them like he used to treat them like his kids, you know, like them, and come over for dinner and they're, you know, we'd have a big, like a revolving house of
That's cool.
What a blessing.
We had
Yeah.
a big family.
What a blessing. And I think everything that you're saying speaks to the fact that is why the LA Latino Chamber of Commerce thought we need to be a part of this, because like Andy said, all of them may not be songwriters or artists, but he is teaching them to be productive, to be a team player, to be about something. And so when we go and we see that, I think the future is theirs for the taking. You know, they're put in a space at your studio where they're given options, you know, and that's a great thing. You know, you're not expecting them to all fit in this one box, this one space.
Correct, yeah.
This creativity speaks to different people in different ways, and that's what I've seen. And when Daryl and I speak about that, I think it's really incredible to see that they have the potential to be business owners. They have the potential to be an entrepreneur in their own right. What that means, you know, they don't know yet, but we definitely want them to know, as businesses, we stand behind them. You know, as people say, you know, they are our future. Well, we need to recognize that, but more importantly, we need to be in existence. We need to be right there, right? And
and it's critical that we invest in them at this point in their lives, because if we don't see them as an investment, and you know, it's just going to totally get lost. You know, and it's easy to introduce Andy to our resources of people of influence because of his passion, because he's laser focused on and determined on his foundation to succeed. So it's easy. It's easy for us to open the doors because he does the rest. You know, as an organization, you know, that's what we can do. We can lead you to the water, but you know, you have to be able to finish the deal, right?
Right.
You got to close the deal, and you know, we're honored as an organization to support the Andy Vargas Foundation in any which way that we can, because we understand that, you know, I was a diamond in the rough at one time, and somebody took me under their wing, and you know, it's now taken me to the next level of who I am, where, you know, we were talking about being lost, you know, through my journey. You know, there was a time in my life when I really wasn't sure, and somebody just says, you know what, I see something in you. It's like what the kids see when Andy's looking at them. He sees something in them that they don't see.
That's right.
And you know, it's you know, as a person that was already of age, right, a mature adult, I didn't see what other people saw in me. I didn't see, even when I was asked to become the chairman of this organization, I just didn't see how that was me. I'm definitely not conventional. I don't see things like other people do because my mindset is different. I'm more of I don't believe in a lot of red tape. I believe in just getting to it, and that's the way I see Andy Vargas. He sees something, and he's able to implement his vision, and is successful. And we have friends, in cities that we introduce that see his vision as well. We have senators that see his vision, and we all understand that it's critical right now that we need to start investing in these young minds because they will become entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
and
they will.
And it needs to happen like that,
I love it. It's cool because it's one of those things. You're right. It's like the people that get used the most are the ones that don't see it in themselves, because when they get to that position, it's like they're more humble about it, and then they move. Because I'm with you too. Like there's parts of me sometimes where I'm like, I don't feel that I deserve that position, or I'm not made for that position. Why me? Like I just want to be behind the camera. I want to, just. Why? But you guys, and being a part, like you said, the people you hang out with and inspire you and share with you, push you to be better. And like, no, you deserve that. You deserve that, because a lot of these kids you're meeting don't feel that they're worth anything. They're worth to be seen or heard, or to be a part of something, and so you're giving them a validation of security in a sense, being a part of something instead of being a part of a gang. I mean, that's why we go. A lot of Latinos be a part of gangs because we want to be a part of something, But yet you're giving them another avenue to be a part of a different type of family, and that's music, an artist.
Well, I mean, validation from an artist that's, worldwide.
Yeah.
I mean,
jeez.
I mean, I'm honored to sit next to him, well, close to next to him. I mean, to me, it's like, wow, Andy Vargas. I mean, how humbling is that for me? I mean, a lot of people.
So we take it for granted, right? We take that for granted. Sitting next to you, man.
I also think too, we speak about legacy all the time, and Andy's been a part of a couple of them. Whether it was Mariachi Vargas through his father and his uncles, that was a huge, to many of us, a cultural tradition. It brought so much value to our lives, right? And then now, he's continued for over 20 years to be a part of the Santana legacy. But now we're living these days in the Andy Vargas Foundation legacy. And I think that is really an honor, Andy, because I do know this, as a elementary teacher for years before, and I ran a inner city YMCA for another 10.
Oh, wow.
And so I realized I was there at the time when they were pulling all the arts out. And we spoke a lot about it, and we tried, but Andy did more than that. He saw it and he became it. He said, you know what? I've got to be a part of this solution. And he's fierce. You just leave it to him. It's beyond leading him to the water or to the opportunity. He speaks of it because he is beyond a visionary. He's making it happen. And we're seeing the results every day today with these kids. And so I see that we only have the opportunity to grow this foundation. It's going to be so big that, I think we're going to be able to even build, workforce around it to make his team bigger.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to expand, these young people, because again, it's going to go beyond the music. It's going to go beyond untraditional jobs that maybe they create. I think our young people, we need to pay attention and see, they've got a lot to show us. They live in a different world than what the world that we were raised in. And so, as a chamber, we're in the business of being in business about people, and what that looked like years ago, even just 5 years ago, it's different today. And so we wake up every day being grateful at the fact that, just use us, right? Just constantly use us for the greater good, because we're all here with a purpose. Our blessings are many amongst all of us, right? But more importantly, they're not for us to keep. They're for us to just share and expand on it, and to tell stories like the Andy Vargas Foundation, and to be a part of it and know that he can't do this alone. He just can't. It's just too much. And so who are we if we are not the responsible partners and friends to bring relevance to him and to give him especially financial support in what he is doing, because there's never enough monetary, contributions and support to make a difference, in what he is doing. But I tell you, it's your time now, Andy. The foundation is just one of these great foundations that everybody will be speaking apart. And it's actually countywide. It's not just in the LA County, but he's out in Orange County. He's up in Northern California.
Inland Empire.
You know, and because the need is everywhere. And I love the fact that your vision is seeing that, you know, you can't just really concentrate on one area. It's not only not fair, but it's needed. You know, these young kids have different stories to tell. While there is a lot of things common in our young people, there are a lot of differences, and Andy's pulling it out from them. Some of the songs they get out and singing, I'm thinking, wow, this is incredible.
We could maybe have one of the students' songs support.
I was surprised when I went to Irvine to see at the studio, right? I'm just thinking, like, I wonder what this kid's going to sing like. I mean, it was, almost like a punk rock looking thing on there. And then when she started singing, I said, like, holy smokes, wow, that's coming out of her.
Wow,
it was like, it was pretty amazing. I mean,
because you look at them a certain way, and then you're like, whoa.
When you look at it a certain way, I'm thinking, like, oh, wow. I mean, I was like, totally blown away.
Well, the other time we went too, we got to witness another student, and you know, instead of me focusing on the student, he introduced their parents, and while she was singing, I was watching the parents, and they were shocked. They were like, that is my daughter up there. And so he brought to them, what a gift to bring to your parents. Look at what he's done.
Yeah.
This is my daughter, and they were so proud. There was a pride. There was an excitement. There was actually a shock in all their face to think, wow, this is really turning the page and giving these young people an opportunity. And, you know, many times you're empowering these young people, and you're empowering a family, and you're empowering a community.
Yes.
And that's what you're doing.
Like that, yeah.
There's so much responsibility that you have.
Thank you.
Now
Thank you.
what you do.
Sometimes I would, get intimidated to expand in the fear of, what happens if it gets too big. But, in our early conversations, and just believing that, if you, in believing in faith, and I have a very strong faith, my family has a very strong faith, and, I know that we all have a very strong faith. And if we can all support in each other, that we know that it will be taken care of for us if we believe and have the proper intention moving forward. And that's what's been happening. And the right people have been coming.
That's right.
If there's a question, we will have it, answered. And we're expanding, and we are expanding. And, things are being, expanding in a great way. And I'm really excited. What I said before we even started our first program is I'm so excited because there are students that I haven't even met yet, and they haven't met me, but they exist and they're there, and they're out there. So something's working in my world with the energy of the people that are around, and something's working in the energy of their world, however they received, the intel that we're present and will be there, and there's an opportunity in front of them. All of that, everything's working the right way. And then lo and behold, you see some of those students that were there. That's and right. There they are, but I know now we have, new students in new cities that we will be entering into, and we don't know who they are.
Yeah.
But they're amazing. There. Yeah. They're there. They're at home now, or they're at school now, and they'll be, coming to share their talents, and they're going to teach us. We'll just kind of help get the block of the mind out of the way, because we're limitless, and things that we can do. And back to my point, these are some of the things that I met in the same vision with Anna and Daryl that they helped inspire. I'm very, honored to be in their presence because, they are successful, in business and business relationships, and very honorable in that business too. And I always was in fear of working with people in the business and the relationship thing, because it's a cutthroat world out there.
Right.
And part of the reason why I want to engrave the music business inside of our students' heads, I say the same thing over and over and over again. So it gets like cemented. so they don't forget, in the excitement of what could be of being an artist and this and that, okay, well, make sure you enter into knowing what your, collaboration with, your collaborators will be. Let's make sure that you have, your numbers to your songs, and make sure that you register every song, and then let's make sure we know what we're going to do when we go to these next levels. So and in that, our program continues to expand, because it's not just, you got to continue to be there for them, because as we grow, it's really hard to fit everything into one cohort.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard to fit everything into 3 months. Creativity, music business, this and that. Okay, now let's put into action. And let's help support that action. How can you tell our elected officials in our offices and the people behind those desks that that's what has to happen?
Right.
So we, as, now, not just performers and recording artists and stuff, but as, business entrepreneurs and stuff, have to go and fight for the kids, have to fight for them and their vision, not as on a record label, but as, a support, an energy of support that they could lean on and know that we'll continue to, come back for them, that, well, what happens when it's over? Then what? So, okay, well, we need another round, and we need to talk about what you need to do in your own, in your own worlds, but we'll always be here for you. There's always a number to call. You have any questions, any guidance, I'm an open, number, and our staff is an open number to say, hey, one of our students is in this situation. They're looking to get some advice. Should they go and work with this company? Because some of our students, need help even with transportation, to get from A to B. And so we help them with that, so we have to find the way and find the answers, and again, we treat them, like our own, and the parents, the real good thing, like what Anna said, is the parents, when you look into their eyes. We had a talent show for them at our location, and the parents just kept on coming back to say how grateful they were, and that was humbling. I had my wife, who's a big supporter of mine, and I believe me, I couldn't do it without her and my kids, because they, just them being around will make everything cool with me. Just them being around, they're getting older, so they want to be, do their things. Yeah. But just to be with Dad, just really, it gives me the strength, to be there. And they're starting to come to many more of our events and things like that. So they're really having a good time, and, getting to know the kids and things like that.
That's awesome.
I think what you're also realizing, Andy, is, this is important to all of us, and you are one foundation who got it right away, where, the politics of even being in business, you have the business community with, someone like Daryl and our leadership, who really understand it, they get it, and totally support you. The Andy Vargas Foundation was one of our big Angel Award recipients this year, and it was more than the money. It was the belief in us not giving up. We're starting something that we have to continue to support. Right. Any of these grants that he's gotten, it's not a one-time deal. He is igniting something that needs to be illuminated for whatever, time we can afford to give them. But more importantly, he's able to really make partnerships and build relationships with our elected officials. This is part of their responsibility to build on our communities. These are their families. These are their constituents, right? And Andy gets it. In addition to, our big sponsors, those sponsors, they're looking to donate to things that create the biggest impact. Well, Andy's doing that. He is making some of the biggest impact. I know I worked with a lot of foundations, and, when I started working with Andy, I'm thinking, this man doesn't even know how good he is at what he does. It's beyond looking good on paper. Right. He really lives and breathes it, where there was a space that wasn't made for the arts, he created it. He didn't wait for it to be given to him. And, that right now is the space he lives and he works in is, if it's not here, let's create it. And
I like that.
we don't expect him to do it alone. That's why we're sitting around the table together, because as Daryl was just saying before we end this, he wanted to make sure that everyone know there's a message behind this. And what would that be?
Well, the message is, as a business guy, I always look at things as a liability in it, and how is your return in your investment, right? And investing in these young minds, these young adults, makes sense. I mean, it was like the old commercial, I think it was like a motor oil commercial, pay me now or pay me later, right? And I look at life like that, in the sense is that if we're not investing in them now, it will cost us in the long run when they take the wrong journey, or they take the wrong road. And then we're going to invest in them one way or another, whether it's on the dark side in a correctional facility, or we invest in them now. So why would we not want to invest in these young minds right now?
Right.
I think it's everybody's responsibility, the listeners, the viewers, whatever we call this podcast, right? Is I want to encourage everybody to really understand what's happening here, and and to jump aboard and to support the Andy Vargas Foundation. But this time, is that we can afford it. Everything counts. And I think now we're going to be speaking about our March event.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can we lead into that?
Sure.
Are we good with that?
Thank you. Yeah. Well, this March 14th, the Andy Vargas Foundation is partnering with the Union building in Pomona. The Union is the renovated YMCA.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful venue.
It's a beautiful venue, yes.
Beautiful venue.
Beautiful.
We will be hosting song camps there in the future, but we have collaborated with them to bring song, which is our program, Sounds of New Generations, to the Union. And
So it's an acronym.
yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Songs of a New Generation. Oh.
Yes. We are going to have comedians, performers. We have a group from San Diego called the B-Side Players that are old friends of mine that'll be coming to perform, as well as our band, Andy Vargas and La Verdad. That's a new collaboration that I have, and we're working on a new album. We have our students, our current song students from District 5 of Riverside County. Very, very blessed. I'd like to give a shout out to D5 and Supervisor Gutierrez and his staff. Thank you so very much to all of them who have been in amazing, amazing support. And we're entering into our final cohorts with our students there. And we'll be reaching out to other high schools in the areas too to come in and participate. And hopefully starting a new track as well with our current students that we've been working with. So March 14th in Pomona at the Union, we have a VIP reception from 5 to 6.
Okay.
And our show is from 7 to 10.
Nice.
We have some special surprise guests coming. We'll slowly announce them as we go along. We have
You can tell me off camera. Don't worry about
off camera. Okay. Well, some are soon to confirm.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
But the word is out to many, so we'll definitely have some surprise guests. So if you come, you'll definitely have a very, very good time.
Nice.
And you can go to our andyvargasfoundation.org website there to purchase tickets. General entry is $30. So, and you can also have a chance to buy food there and
Nice, yeah.
serving, drinks for the adults.
A good time, right?
It's
Good time to mingle and dance. Your music's good.
Definitely dance. We have a dance floor open and a place, comfortable seating for everyone, other than those that are standing and that want to stand. But also I hope that maybe we can put the link and stuff
Absolutely.
maybe on the chamber's site and stuff,
website,
just to start. We'll be sending out all emails and things, but this is going to be a community event. And between the Los Angeles Chamber, as well as the city of Pomona, the school district of Pomona, and possibly some surrounding cities. Hopefully, Pico Rivera. I'm very excited. I'd like to give a shout out to Gustavo Camacho and the city of Pico Rivera for collaborating on a new song program very, very soon. So and these are Senator Suzanne Rubio as well. I'd like to give a shout out to Senator Suzanne Rubio, who I'm so very grateful to Anna and Daryl put us together, and that is part of our Pomona activation. There is that's in her district, and we want to service the areas of our close officials.
I like it.
There's and believe me, once we're there, and you start creating the relationships with the families, and they start seeing what's happening. It takes time. I understand, marketing and getting everyone, to know what's happening. Even if you want to market a program, that's going to take a couple of months to get the word out and this and that. But we want to get started. We have, students already that we know we need to start working with and impacting. So March 14th, Saturday, March 14th at the Union. If you want to be a part of the VIP reception, you're more than welcome. Tickets are available on andyvargasfoundation.org. Also links on our Instagram.
And then we're going to promote you guys as well. So let's connect now.
Thank you very much.
We're going to promote.
Let's connect now. Thank you.
So I want to say also that the Union is a very intimate setting. So there's not going to be thousands of seats available. How many seats available? The seating capacity that we have available. I know there's going to be some in the balcony, and then some on the lower level as well.
Yeah, there'll be about 150 to 150, standing and upstairs and downstairs.
Right.
But then we'll also be able to have VIP seating if you'd like to sit at a standing table. We have about 40 tables. Let me see, probably about 35 tables available.
300 to 400 people.
So whoever's listening, better andale.
Yes.
Andale,
You need to buy those tickets right now because
Yeah.
they're going. And I tell you, it's I hardly get wowed, but when I went into that building, when you invited me, JR, last
the film
year,
festival, yeah.
I came back. I told Anna, this is an amazing venue. It was remodeled. It is an amazing looking building. The Andy Vargas Foundation fundraiser is going to be very intimate. Come meet people that make a difference, and it's a great place to possibly network in between the music and the comedy show.
Most definitely, yeah.
But I mean, the people, I would say the majority is going to be the who's that are decision makers, and come on out and support, encourage you.
Yeah, and as ACS Group, we're a sponsor as well as the LA Latino Chamber of Commerce. We challenge you to also step up and become a sponsor and support this. Many of you may think, well, I can't afford it. We can't afford not to. These are our young people.
I like that.
These are our future, and please, you will not regret it. This is just the beginning of something very great. Thank you, Andy, for everything you do.
I'm so happy to be here, and that you guys, invited me here to your space.
Thank you for
and
taking the time.
it's so cool. This is so cool.
We're sitting next to Andy Vargas, man.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. We just recently had a really good night of listening to music
did.
and at Spaghettini.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming and listening to some of my original material. That was very special. So
We
appreciate the
invited
support.
Sheriff Luna and his wife.
Oh.
And they were playing the maracas.
Serafina.
They had an amazing time.
Oh yeah,
Spaghettinos
we handed out maracas and shakers.
I always order
everyone
something
can
that's
play.
not on the menu because that's just typical Daryl. Because I want a pizza. That's all I want to go. Well, it's not on the menu. It says, I don't know, but I want a pizza.
And they brought. Did they make you pizza?
Oh, they made me a pizza.
course.
No, really? Wow.
I was
that's
Andy
terrible.
Vargas' guest. I go, Andy Vargas' guest, he wants pizza. So I went.
Yes, thank you.
I, every time I go there, I eat pizza.
That's funny.
The food's amazing there too.
Yeah, I
Spaghettini
agree.
really supports live music and
They do.
encourage them to catch some of the shows.
Shout out to Spaghettini.
Yeah.
But more importantly, the people that Andy brings to Spaghettini, we just have to put that on our website as well because it was incredible. He was Sheriff Robert Luna, right? And our table got so much activity because of the friends that we are to this man. And, the sheriff said, there's something good happening here.
Nice.
I think I need to get involved. And so him as our chef, I think that was Sheriff
That's
very
so important. He's
excited to be there.
He's amazing.
That's a good compliment right there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, they see, we know as business leaders, as people of the community, that we need to invest.
Yes.
Right.
And it's time. It's nothing more worthy.
No, I love it. Thank you so much for coming on here. I really appreciate it, man. Your
you.
time, your energy. And if you are looking for a foundation to be a part of, the Andy Vargas Foundation, you guys are spreading your wings, everywhere. I can see that. And it takes finances to do that. Yeah. So, you heard them. Some of these kids need transportation and help, assistance. So, Andy Vargas. Lunches. Yes, lunches.
Your restaurant, that can support our lunches, that would be a big support.
So hey, you're a business like Anna and Daryl said. Invest in these young kids today. Thank you so much, man. Any last words before we go?
I would just, Andy, is there anything that you would like to share?
Just an ultimate sense and heart of gratitude from the Vargas family to you guys.
Wonderful. Well, thank you.
Honestly,
And
you guys have opened up so many doors and are there to listen and there to encourage also my wife and women. My wife has been a mother at home, and sometimes you lose and I don't want to speak for her, but sometimes you lose a sense of but gosh, how do I get back into the business world when I just have been a mother? And she has been a mother great in an amazing way. She has, homeschools our children. And that, has been amazing because the relationship we have with our kids now and the fact that they can study at any given point in time, it's not just school and then home and play. It's very, liquid, but they're always learning in life. They're applying the way that they learn what they're learning here in life. And it's been great for me too, because then I'm learning all these stuff, this stuff again. But what I'm saying is that's what she does. And Anna has poured into her and given her a lot of encouragement to be a part of the Chamber's events. They're having coming to be a part of the FEM.
Yes, I'm so glad.
Event.
Yes.
And so
Nicole
she's very
will be
excited.
joining us at FEM. So
And her sister Patty. Yeah.
as will Olivia and Monica. So we'll all embrace her and
Thank you.
help her
Thank you
get
so
have
very
an
much.
amazing
That's what I wanted to
experience.
say.
Absolutely.
Me and Daryl will be walking around. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll walk around doing nothing.
You can come too, Andy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll be watching the kids.
Oh, that's true.
I'll be home watching the kids. I gotta continue the school.
I forgot about that. Yes, you did.
Well, we have room
their
there.
time.
Just bring the kids, and we'll just school them there.
Oh, we could.
Go look at the water. Let's go whale watching. I don't know.
I think them, her and her sister need some
Yes.
Yeah.
some time.
Yes.
It's good.
That's
It's all good.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time on Business Connections. Until next time, we'll see you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.